Bible. We're taking a little break from Solomon's life to take a look at some of the writings and the 2 Psalms and numerous Proverbs. We know that he wrote more than what is recorded for us in the scriptures, but the 2 Psalms that he wrote are 72 and 127. I hope that you'll take the time to take a look at Psalm 72. For in it you find petition, but the petition is not for Solomon. The petition is for the people. And as you read it and as you go through it, you recognize how much Solomon loved the people. I think that it would be appropriate for God to have said Solomon was a man after God's own heart. I believe that every pastor, every minister who serves the Lord ought to love people. And Solomon certainly loved the people. And you'll see that clearly if you just take a look at Psalm 72, at his petition for the people. Psalm 127 is also a beautiful psalm. It's different in the fact that it's much shorter, and it's predominantly praise, and it recognizes the value of children. But just 2 psalms, as where David was between 60 and 70, Solomon just has 2 psalms attributed to him. On the other hand, Proverbs, it appears that Solomon is credited for, or at least having accumulated, 21 of the 31 Proverbs. Let me say that again. It appears that Solomon is credited for at least assembling and getting into the book of Proverbs 21 of the 31 Proverbs. Now, it's told to us in Scripture that Solomon wrote over 3,000 Proverbs and over 1,005 Psalms or songs. And the period that Proverbs covers is 950 BC down to 700 BC. One of the things that I like to do is to kind of classify things, and you remember I said that that's really difficult to do with Psalms, but Proverbs, some people have done some incredibly good work in categorizing or putting a topic index for the Proverbs. And I highly recommend that you take a look at a couple of these. The first one is knowableWord.com. KNOWABLE@WORD, no spaces in between any of that, .com. They have a topical index which took 4 years for them to create. And they say that we ought to study Proverbs in the OIA method. They say that we ought to study Proverbs in the OIA method. What is OIA? It's observation, interpretation, and application. That's true of all Scripture. We really ought to use the OIA version of studying to observe, to interpret, and to apply. Now, the second one of the indexes that I want you to take a look at is www.precept, PRECEPT, no spaces, Austin, AUSTIN, again no space, .org. That's preceptaustin.org. There they take and use an alphabetical index with nearly 100 different topic titles. Let me say that again for you. They break Proverbs down into over 100 topics, and they go from abomination to woman. And I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. From abomination to woman, alphabetically. Now, the largest sections of their topical study of Proverbs are the commandments, fools or foolishness, heart, Jehovah, mouth, tongue, lips, all as one subject, parenting, which includes fathers and mothers and children, prohibitions, punishments, rewards, righteous or righteousness, speech. Seems that that would have been combined with tongues, but it's not. And then finally, wicked. Those are the major sections of the 100 that this particular index used. But think how valuable that is for study. If you want to study family, you can go to that family index, which is parenting. Or if you want to study abominations, you can go to the A, abominations. Or if you want to study punishments, you can go to the punishments. There's also a small section on wine or alcohol. Certainly highly recommend that you look and see what Proverbs says about wine or alcohol. And of course, what it says about wisdom. One last thing before we close out today's devotion. Proverbs, and the first proverb, which is definitely attributed to Solomon, reads this way, verses 1 through 7. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for learning what wisdom and discipline are, for understanding insightful sayings, for receiving wise instruction in righteousness, justice, and integrity, for teaching shrewdness to the inexperienced, knowledge and discretion to a young man. A wise man will listen and increase his learning, and a discerning man will obtain guidance. For the understanding, a proverb or a parable, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So Proverbs tells you right up front what it's trying to do. It tells us the purpose of the writing. And it's good material. And with those indexes, you can do an incredibly good study of Proverbs. But more than that, no matter what subject you're studying, even if it's a New Testament subject, you can go back to Proverbs and see by that 100 topics what a topic might apply to the lesson that you're studying in the New Testament. Incredible tool. I hope that you'll take advantage of it, and I hope that you'll take some time in studying Proverbs. Not just those that Solomon is credited with writing, but I hope that you'll do an extensive study of Proverbs. Someone once said that instead of reading through the Bible in a year, we ought to read Proverbs for a whole year. I think there's probably some wisdom in that. Reading Proverbs for a whole year. Just taking time to use the OIA method: observation, interpretation, and application. That's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.